It is 2021, folks, and I am Melissa Patterson, the host with the most of the Mimi Patterson Show. And today in studios, I do have the uncomparable Mr. Juan Garcia, DJ So Fresssh, all the way from New York City, Brooklyn, New York to be specific. And I am ecstatic to have him here as my guest. So, Mr. Juan Garcia, tell the people, who are you? Tell us about you. Where were you born? Where are you from? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so born in Brooklyn, New York. Both my parents are Dominican. Sí, hablo el lenguaje del español. Yeah, I speak the language of Spanish. But yeah, just about me, I'm 36, been DJ So Fresssh now for the last 11 years. And it's something, that I picked up on occasion. I didn't plan to become the entrepreneur that I am today. But, something so little, I was good at it. It just became something explosive that for the last 4 years, my business has increased to the point that, if I wanted to run with it solely, I can. But, I like still having my 9-to-5 job and still having my side business.
Amazing. So, Mr. Juan Garcia is a DJ and also a minister.
Yes.
So you mentioned briefly about the DJ, but how long specifically have you been a DJ, and how long have you also been an ordained minister?
So ordained minister, I've been now for about 4 years, but a DJ since August of 2009.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yes.
So you've been a DJ longer than you've been a minister.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So what made you decide to become a DJ? What was the inspiration behind you choosing this path of entrepreneurship?
That's a good question. So actually, I didn't decide to choose this. What actually happened was, I remember at a point I was DJing a basement party, in Brooklyn, New York. All we do is basement, bashment things, So, yeah, just a little bit. And what happened is, I was DJing an event where I just had an iPod. I'm telling my age already, an iPod. Some of you, I don't even know what an iPod is. And I had house speakers. So I did it so well that I said, you know what, maybe I can become something, maybe I can make something great of this. So I ended up purchasing a laptop. And I recalled at a point in time, a friend trusted me to DJ her baby shower. And I had a laptop and house speakers. She was Dominican. Everybody knows about Dominican people. Dominican people party until the sun comes up, and you need to have loud music. But I had house speakers, and it was in a hall. So I remember at a point in time, long story short, the guy told me, raise your speakers up. When I raised my speakers up, the speakers blew out. And they had to go get an actual DJ. So that actually made me want to invest into the business, that if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go all in. And I remember it was August 15, 2009. I went to a music store and I bought equipment, and that's what really made me want to pursue this business.
So you were pretty much, that embarrassment that happened that night, made you level up pretty much into your business. So I know you specialize in weddings.
Yes.
How much weddings have you done so far?
In the last, I can't remember from 2009, but in the last 4 years, including with the pandemic that we're in, 73 weddings. Wow. From 2017 to the end of 2020. Currently for 2021, I'm booked for 14 weddings, and I have at least about 12 that are still pending, where they're still deciding if they want to book me or not.
Amazing. Don't decide, just book in.
Yeah.
It's DJ So Fresssh. You will not be disappointed, that I can tell you.
You really won't. I mean, it's going to be one of the best, it's probably going to be the second best decision besides the person that you're going to marry. Wow. And that's not a hashtag, that's a hash fact.
Oh, okay. All right. Amazing. I love it. So you're a minister and a DJ. How do you maintain being a DJ while you're also a minister? How do you maintain that balance?
So honestly, yes, balance is key to everything. My mother always told me, to whom much is given, much is required. And that's always something that's been instilled in me, where I know what I'm doing as far as DJing, but I also can't forget who I am. So I always try to DJ to the people, in a sense, to let them know that you can still be saved, but you can still have a good time. There's nothing wrong with having a good time. You just have to learn there's a balance in having a good time and doing too much. And when you feel like you're doing too much and you're stepping over certain boundaries, then you already know, like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this, or I shouldn't be doing that. So most of the people that I DJ events for, they are Christians in a sense. So it's not like in New York, you don't really find me as a club DJ. Most of the events that I do are weddings. And I feel like because God gave me what I call this gift that I have as far as being able to DJ and being a minister, He's allowed me to be able to do this, but do this in a setting that it's about building love versus being in a club setting. I've done clubs, but I feel more comfortable being in a wedding setting because I can be able to project who I am versus being in a club where I feel like I'm so restricted. And Christians aren't born to be restricted. They're born to think outside the box and what God has called them to do.
It's amazing. So God is love.
Yes.
And the fact that you're doing weddings, which I believe that displays the perfect and acceptable will of God and also the perfect love of God. So that's amazing. What is unique about DJ So Fresssh? Why should they book you over any other DJ? What is so unique about you?
I give the people what they want versus giving them what I think they feel they should get. I have 5 different wedding packages, or just 5 different packages in general, and I present those options to the people. There are other vendors out there that tell them, you have to get this and you have to get that. And I tell people, you don't have to get this. You can choose what you want to include in your package. And based upon that, I can offer you a discount if you came through a referral of somebody that I know will give you a discount. Because, I feel, how would I want somebody to treat me if I was in their shoes? So I always think in that sense. So, I listen to the people, I answer their questions, fast and productive. Just last night, I received an email of a client who wants to book me through a referral. But more importantly, she said, I want to book you because you're quick in your response and you're attentive to my questions. So based on her saying that, just reaffirms the fact that I do that in what I'm doing it the right way. And that's what really makes people want to book my services more than anything else. And when it comes to the event, I go all out. I'm not a typical type of DJ that stays behind the DJ booth. I like to interact with the people. Yeah, I dance with the people, if when they throw the garter, if I catch the garter, then I got to put it on the leg of the female. I do what I have to do. There's videos out there, look me up, and stuff like that. But I just like to show the people that, even though it's a wedding, you can still have a good time. It's a party, it's a celebration. No matter what event you have, it's always a celebration. Even if it's a kid's party, it's a celebration. So, you have to just be able to enjoy the time. And if they see the DJ enjoying themselves, they're like, well, I might as well enjoy myself too.
When did you know that you were called to spread the gospel, to spread the good news? Like, how did you know that God was tugging on Juan Garcia to become a minister of the gospel?
I would probably say around the age of 13. At that point in time, I knew there was a calling over my life. I knew there was something different, or I was called to be set apart. And I knew like there was, sooner or later, that would manifest in itself. It was just a process that I had to go through, in my teen years and my 20s and so forth. And in the church that I am now, my bishop, he, saw something in me that he wanted to invest and wanted to ordain me as a minister, even though he already knew I was a DJ. And I'm thankful for a bishop that has vision, that he can, he supported me when, people kind of criticized him, like, how would you ordain, a DJ? So from, he had to go to bat for me. And I always feel that when God backs his people up, he's going to support his people to the fullest, because the same people who criticize me are the same people who are booking me.
Oh, wow. Never criticize what you never want.
Exactly. So, I feel at that point, that was just God solidifying what he has called me to be. But, I always knew in my head that whether I become ordained or not, you don't have to have a title to deliver a message, to spread the news, because we're all called to spread the news in one way, fashion, or form. And I feel me as a DJ, I'm called to go into certain marketplaces that certain bishops and pastors and evangelists can't go to be able to deliver the good news to the people. So I feel like that is why I'm called to do this specifically, and at times, as humans, or me just as a human, sometimes I question it myself because, of this flesh that we have, so we at times doubt our gift. Then God will send somebody who would just remind you, like, if I called you, if I'm backing you up, why should you worry? So, I realized that when I go to certain places, just go boldly, go confidently, because if you're doing what God called you to do, why worry?
Exactly. And for me, it's all about ministry and the marketplace too. God never called us to sit in the church. He said, go out. He left us the Great Commission, go out into the world, spread the gospel, go to the highways and the byways, regardless. So we need to go to the club to get these people. We need to go where we need to get them and bring them back to the kingdom. As long as we don't stay there, just go get them and come back. That's it. So being an entrepreneur, I know it's not easy for anyone. Like, what were some of the highs and the lows that and how did you overcome them as well?
The lows were at a point in time, I think my lowest ever was I wasn't working at a time, and I was not collecting unemployment. And the low for me was DJing once a week, where I would take a cab to a comedy show to DJ the event. And they would only pay me $40 at the time, where they didn't know DJ So Fresssh. And the cab to and from my house was $10 each way, which is $20. So I'm only making $20. And that was my lowest, but I stayed consistent with it. Because I said, this is just a stepping stone of where I'm gonna go. So I can't give up in what I'm in, because sooner or later it has to turn around in my favor. And it came a point in time where I knew it would turn around, and in 2015, I DJ'd a wedding for an NFL player. And he flew me out to Chicago, and I DJ'd a wedding out there. And then in 2017, God flipped the switch where it went from DJing, flip. God went from DJing like 6 weddings, and then in 2017, I DJ'd 19 weddings. 2017 it was 19 weddings. 2018, I DJ'd 20 weddings. 2019, I DJ'd 24 weddings. Just last year, 2020, I was booked for at least 25, but because of the pandemic, I was still able to DJ 10 weddings. I know DJs right now who are not DJing because they don't want to take any events for X, Y, and Z reasons, but I'm thankful that I'm in a position that I can still be able to cater to the people and still make a living off of it. So, to me, those are my highs, and for some reason, this business is still going higher and higher and higher, and I feel like I have not reached
your full potential.
My full potential.
There's more to go. Amazing. So this is a perfect example of when you are faithful in little, then God will give you more. So I believe that's a great example that you set for yourself and also for other people that is watching. And this leads me to my last question for you. If there was a person watching right now that wants to get into entrepreneurship, not just DJing, but get into DJing and entrepreneurship, what would be your piece of advice, one piece of advice to that person that's watching today?
My one piece of advice to any entrepreneur, just not matter what business you decide to go in, is a quote that I heard, and the quote is, think, plan, achieve, repeat, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. So you have to learn how to think for yourself. Don't think for just other people. What you want to do, you want to plan it in a way where you want it to work for you, but you also want to separate yourself from everyone else. Because whatever you plan to do, you want people to come and say, yeah, this person is doing hair, yeah, this person is doing photography, yeah, this person is DJing, yeah, this person is doing that. But you're different from that person, and you want people to come to you because you're different from everybody else. And as soon as you think, you can plan it. So you have to write stuff down on paper, you have to write stuff down on your phone, whatever comes to your mind, just begin to write it down, begin to plan it out. And once you think and you plan and you achieve what you got to do to go to the next step, you repeat it all over again. Because if that step is not broken, why try to fix it?
So there you have it, think, plan, and achieve, then you repeat. Now, if someone wants to get in touch with DJ So Fresssh, how do they find you? What are your social media handles? How do they get in contact with DJ So Fresssh?
Okay, yeah, so getting in contact with me, you can go to my website, www.djsofresssh.com. Now, like Melissa, she's 2 L's and 1 S. I'm DJ So Fresssh with 3 S's. Now, the reason why it's 3 S's is because I'm all about success. Success starts with 1 S and ends with 2 S's. So when you book me for your event, it's going to be successful from beginning to the end. So that's really the purpose of the 3 S's in Fresh. So it's djsofresssh.com, or you can find me on Instagram, DJ So Fresssh, or you could go find me on Facebook, DJ So Fresssh, or type in my name, Juan Garcia. But once you find me on one, you'll find me on all. If you want to communicate with me, I'm very quick to respond. I handle all the business. I handle everything personally. But shout out to my DJ manager, shout out to my assistant. But we're quick in our response because at the end of the day, if you ask me a question, you will want me to respond to you back quickly and vice versa. So I don't like people leaving people up in the air. Try to respond back to you as soon as possible. So those are my social media handles.
Awesome. So thank you for coming to the Mimi Patterson Show all the way from New York. We appreciate you here in Florida. And again, thank you for tuning in to our second episode of the year. God bless you.